Okay, different channel operation line centers and position and reframing, recalculating, modify streams. It's all position directions. Now I'm in a different seat line center, but I know exactly what it is because I've sat here before line communication system, this clocking system. So it knows exactly where I am through voice recognition of time. The central communication is the levels operation locations. Coming in T reception line center, rotation interference, center communication system. Allocate timelines, cupboards, position of all line centers, crevice locations, high centers, and position of ceilings, corner interference locations. See the light track location? See the line center rotation? Looks like an L track. See it? See the shadow? Looks like an L track. So transcendent communication is levels from inside of you. Okay. So today in class, we're going to travel to the line center line interference, direct locations, position location of all levels. The high center communication is going to plasma its light center. Okay. Position of directions, open all channel communication. So the more you understand that, the more you understand how to use your electrical system inside. Okay. Once you get into that, it opens all plateau. Plateau interference communications to its emotional system. I'll say this again. Just to understand, you have an emotional system inside. You have to learn how to use it. So when I'm looking at you, I'm looking at everything from inside position here and everything that's in its room. Okay. One graph. This is one graph. So if you understand that, it's seeing everything in all timelines all at once. The communication interference location of TV reception line center, inter-center communication system position locations, all levels, its connections to its books, its position to its wall line system. You have to understand the eye lines of communication, but it's got to be from inline center. So in the modification circle, your connection is how you use your relationships to your partnerships of yourself inside. Your electrical system is all level connections, right? So let's start off line center. Now you see this, it's glowing, right? Generalized space-time. It's all tied to the defense line, right? Each letter, okay, each letter represents you in emotional line system, okay? And you have the connections to the lion. So in that position location, where's the light coming from? Not outside. Outside is inside. All right. So you're inverting line signals. You're directing inside of you. Okay. So once you understand that, you're connecting from the shirt from inside, even though you see it from outside. Right. So that's the integrate location when it comes to the alphabetical line connections. Right. So you got general and you got underscore. Underscore to what? Underscore locations of AI. Positional locations is awareness of its information. Underscore space-time. Right? So really understand these things. And the only way to do that is you see me wearing this shirt, but the actual shirt is inside. You just see it as outside. So we all have to learn how to use the perception line screens. Now, perception line screen is all through electrical light connection, interference, specification directions. These are eye-line channels, communication system. This allocates timeline streams, okay? So it's all a position of monitoring the line center interference, okay? I recept locations, position of directions, right? These are all levels of future line communication, your thought patterns. It's all communication system. The projection location comes into coloration. The hologram structure is here. Position line directions, right? So you're looking at this angle line center, or you can be looking at this angle line center, but it's all position location from inside of you, okay? Each compartment has line centers, position location directions, right? Panels, electrical light interference, okay? So track locations, you got your thumb line rotation, you got your indication high system to your sun, you got your line position locations, all levels of your weather line rotations and calculations. Now you can turn the line center interference. It's a story frame. That's all it is. A hand is not a hand. It's an electrical system. It's an electrical panel. This is a faceplate. These are electrical wires. Each position of each thumb line center in calculation system represents line centers at all levels of stream interference of its weather. Summer, winter, spring, fall. Indicate location of lines of communication. Barcode high centers, streamline centers, graph line interference, direct locations, shapes and anomalies, track line centers, in rotations, barcode information. So once you understand more levels of you inside, this helps you in all ways and forms. Understand your connection is its relationship. Okay. Getting relationship locations with just the title because you can see it glowing, right? But it's glowing from inside of me, not outside. It's not a reflection location, it's inside. So interline its communication to its letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols, puts you in track locations. Your emotional center, line center interference. We're going to go through the cranial line rotation. This comes into visionary connections of its cortex locations, center communication system. So, track line centers, let's say in position location directions. Okay, this is you. Okay, panel line centers, because I have my computer on this side, center line rotation, it's on the opposite circle. So, it's in the opposite direction locations. So each hand formation is in interlocations of left and right and left. So it's important you understand the connections on how you change things, right? It's all levels of structure. You pick these things up. Every time you communicate your thought lines, it changes structure, changes structure, changes structure, changes structure. Okay. So the faster you travel, the more you see line connections, all levels, inline center interference. So that is your location. Now, center communication as all levels. You have your feet. Okay, feet line center. There it is, feet line center, right? You see a location. Now you come into high centers. Now you come into position locations. So you got 3 track line circles. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Right? So once you understand that line center interference, you come to position location, solar plex location. Right? Centerline communication is all levels of circulation rotation. Calculate high center interference of electrical light communication is your atom line system. Okay. So it's to understand how to use, you have circle locations, 1, 2, 3. Right? See how it's coming in diffusion line communication? Center communication system. So, and again, you got 3 line communication, you got disc line centers, 1, 2, 3 line connection position directions. Center communication line center interference. So you have shield plates on shoulder blade line centers of left, right position location calculations. Box position location of triangulation of travel location, position of time. Center communication line stream. So everything that I'm saying is all levels from inside, but it's all communication because I have a relationship with myself inside. It always informs through the electrical system. All right. So we're going to go through code signal locations into dimension, interdimensional line center, galactic, intergalactic location line center locations, all over the AI tech. Center communication system. Code reference line center, electrical light conditions, E equals line. Okay, equals cross line position locations, interline is connection. Interline is basically electrical line interference. Okay. So you're entering communications to all levels inside connections. Cross signal location. So cross signal line centers and all line position location, how you use your time frames. Time maintenance, time calculations, modify high centers, circle locations, simulation high system, graph line center interference location calculation. So it's all levels of electrical line connections, mainframe, equals line center location, level line interference. So in position location directions, right? Travel line centers, set course line channels, electrical light communication system, 3 line centers, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now this is line center electrical light connection. All right, so we're going to start here. All position location calculations, center communication system. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to line stream, and you guys are going to travel through. Right, here we go. Signal line center interference, position location direction. Signal line in calculation system. Open all track line center, ground line centers, power records and time locations, and position electrical light communication interference. Position location directions. You guys are traveling. Inside line centers, all the way to the cranial line communication system. Energy line centers, SAC interference communication lines, wires. Now, understand communication system is all levels of you through panel. Okay. So it's really understand that if you look at yourself, it's amazing how you're created. And it's all levels of shapes. I mean, you look at your hand formation line center, right? You look at your finger joints. You look at your attachments. You got one here, and one here. 1, 2, 3. The wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder. That's 3, right? So 3 plus 3 is what? 6-line communication. 2-line position location of track interference, right? So if you understand your line centers and you understand your position location of travels, then you understand more about your electrical system, clocking locations, calculations. So it's an intricate pattern, position, location, and directions, all levels. All right, it's trying to understand the center communication as all levels of cell lines. These are your cells through its calculation system. All right. So understanding your cell line communication system is intricate location of patterns, electrical light communication system. There's 3 channels of operation line streams in position location. Right. So understanding that line connections, you get a better formation when you're starting to look inside through vortex communication of your projector locations. Each channels of operation into projector location. Channels is operation line center at all levels of screen locations. See? So center op communication line and rotation interference. This is where you come into structures, centers. The structure interference location comes into levels of measure. You're measuring your scales of communication system. Okay. So once you understand that, then you understand light track location. See? See the light? It's not coming from outside. It's coming from me. Okay. Everything you see here is a shape. And you are represented to everything through travel of its shape. Okay. But you have to see it from inside of everything locations. It's going beyond the TV line center. Even though the TV's off, it's still on. And if you look really close, you can move it location. Moving line centers and high line rotation interference is dimensional linear rotations. See the line position and calculations? Center communication system, position, location, and direction. You see the shadow line right there? There's a shadow line communication right there, right? See that right tip right there? AI is a form of everything through detail. So we position location each corner. Each corner. Okay. Understand each line, each division, each tactile line interference. So interference, interlocking, interconnection is so many levels of interference line connections. How you use your thought pattern is how you use electrical line interference. So you got 3 line centers of wire communication system, right? Those are 3 wires. Now there's millions and millions of wires in its online communication system. So understanding communication is all levels of its relationship. Okay. Understanding the stream center location of its travel. Okay. Understanding the rotation spin cycles of its coil, communication system location, position, and direction. Okay. Understanding the vibration location of its graph line centers. Now you have a graph line center indications, 3 line center wires, communication, all levels of a monitor communication system, position line centers. So once you understand the lines of wires and electrical light connections of you, then you understand how you are connected, right? So if you look at this, you can see a circle, right? Circle, so I can wear the t-shirt, right? But what you don't see is what's inside line connections. These are panels. This is a panel. 2 line centers of panel communication. Now everything inside line is what? Times pi. So entry locations to its wires. You have a position location of orthogonal line channel, collateral line interference, and position locations, right? These are metal panels in communication, wire division locations. There's 40 million wires of communications on both line channel. Left and light center line position, and right and line center interference. So this opens all communication to your ear line centers. Left and right, right to left, doesn't matter. What matters, do you understand the communication that's inside line position? Okay, so there's so many levels that you have to understand its calculation system. Try to understand the sonar line centers from your ear line center interference. See, even though the TV is position locations of being off, I still hear it from my ear to ear to ear to ear. So in that calculation system, you have to try to understand everything that you are connected to is inside of you. Okay, so that's where it comes into its relations. Now, if you look at the top, you can see coloration, right? You can see the red and you can see the beige. Now, those are two box locations into what? A black line center that looks like connection interference, right? So those are three colorations connected to the TV. TV is connecting to all levels of wear. My glasses, connecting with my hair, connecting with the ceiling, connecting with the shadow, connecting with the stream locations, connecting with the patterns of this location. See the water indication? See the ripple effect? Right? Because it's on its table, the TV is communicating with everything in the room. So if you understand that, then you understand how to build a friendship with everything that you see. Because that is your determination when it comes into clock locations. Time frequency times calculation times pi. All right? So in that position, location, direction, let's see how everybody's doing. Just going through solar text line centers of attendance. Yolanda, how's it going? Trey, Terry, Don, Gypsy, Lindsay, Pam, Heather, Airbender, Johnny, Michael, Jill, Abby, Jared, Val, Sammy. All right. So, knowing exactly what you're doing through inside connection. Yamina, how you doing? Done. Yeah, take this as your keys calculations. Let's see, Stacy, Nova, Adam. All right, Heather, Wendy, Gypsy. So the thing is, guys, once you do your pre-flights, that's not enough. You have to have a regular conversation in your line center interference, okay, in that direct locations. So this is how it works. When you get up in the morning, you're automatically communicating with what? You. Okay, not the pre-flight. That's a structure. So your body is all levels of a structure until it gets into the flow, and then there's no more structure. You just have a regular conversation of yin and yang with your system inside, and all your electrical system comes into its plain automatic location. Autoimmune line centers, auto interference location calculations, understanding your dietary line center interference, understand the problem in this location system. If my electrical light panels are offline interference location, why are the eye receptors in position of flickers? What's a flicker notification system? What's a highline channel high interference location calculations? Why are my ears ringing on so many sonar location of sonar line centers? What's happened with the eco line center location of channel? What's happened to the graph interference location computer adaptation line center? You have to figure these things out. And the only way to do that is from inside of you. Okay? That's the only way you can get your answers. Everything is answered inside of you. You have to really understand the correlation, how it positions your panel line center interference. Understand electrical light connections, wire line center interference, cell communication system, all levels of electrical light connections. 1, 2, 3, Orion's belt. Center communication, 3 line centers interference. 4 positions, 5 line center, 6. 6 line center, 7, 2 positions of 4 communication. 3. Knowing exactly what you're saying before you say these things, locations, precognition line center. Precognition, motion sensors, adaptation, high interference, eye receptor line and rotation calculations, high channel line centers, pyramid position direction. Your nose is a pyramid. Your eyes are receptors. Your third eye is travel location. Okay? Your hair is a follicular line stream. There's strands, it's information, it's panels, it's communication, it's intelligence. So, if you understand that, you are now connecting all levels inside through its friendship, relationship, and its partnership. Okay? So remember, every time you go outside, you're seeing things from inside of you. You're seeing things from inside coming at you. If you're seeing things from outside, you're not connecting through telepathy. Okay? Trying to get a basic understanding how you communicate to your system inside gives you all position location to its position of time and everything through space-line connection. Right? Because we're all structured inside through numbers, location of shapes. Symbols, line, track. But the symbolized track isn't connected to the line centers, but the quantum interference is in its calculation system. But I changed the 8 central line communication centers. But what happened to the flight navigation line position? The channel was in position, but the clocking centers are off calculation. Conversation inside, guys. That's what I'm talking about. That's the only way you can get a partnership with yourself. Okay? That's what you need to do. If you really want to just understand, not just the basic understand what an avatar is, it's not just, well, I'm seeing this and I'm seeing that and I'm understanding this and I'm understanding that, but how does that do anything with the conversation location inside of you? That doesn't help you in all ways and forms, does it? How do you get to know your system is all levels of you and how you communicate. It's the how you communicate to your system, to your vessel, right? Your AI connection is off interference. But I put my plasma channel on its clocking location at 24,000 light signatures, so it should be okay. No, but it's not, because of the line center and the position location of its grounds is not in its central communication system. Communication, getting the answers from inside. That's questioning you through your value. So these are the things you have to look at when you go inside line connections. All right. Turning myself into a compact data packet for smooth travels. That's cool. Myself, like an atom, blooming flower. Seeing, let's go a few cracks. Yeah, let's see, it's going past that line center interference, getting electrical light connection, interference location, and calculations. But like I said, it's mostly having a conversation with yourself every single day. That's the first thing you get up in the morning. You guys don't do that. And that's what you need to do. It's not just setting up panel security and protecting your lights. It's not like, oh, I protect all my realm communication system, my grounds, and everything all line center. No, it's not just that. It's having a regular conversation with yourself. That's the only way you can understand your system inside location, right? So I'm resting line center location on my left, but my position location on my right is on the line center location, all levels on the opposite line location of its chair. But the central communication is off ground interference. But I set the plasma channel in a 48 window location, but it's not indicated to all levels at 144. But the channel operation is in its signal, so I know exactly what's going on with the chakra location of 12 DNA. Conversation, right? That's the only way you're going to get to know yourself. You have to build a relationship with you inside. Okay? So, helps you in all ways and forms, people. Yep, everything outside is inside. Very good. So, knowing exactly your electrical system and how it works is all levels of travel. Traveling inside position location gives you all integration. Integration location, all levels of merge. You accelerate and decelerate location of clock locations. But once you have a communication inside, you get a better understanding of how to get in your abundance. So let's say you're offline interference and your business locations and you want something through abundance loading connections. Well, what are you asking? What's your intention? You have to have your intent. You have to have your force, your will. Sorry, you have to have your friendship, relation, and partnership with yourself to get anything you want. So once you understand that, and then you understand the electrical system, then you understand the calculations. Receptor line communication system, receptor line division. There's so many levels you guys have to integrate to a location. So, and that's what you need to do. Just get up in the morning and just have a regular conversation with yourself inside. And you'd be amazed getting the answers that you need. That's how you get your abundance. Abundance is an activity system. It's a position, location, direction. So it's a future operation location of you in a high system. Let's say you got a physical line interference location of alignment that's offline channel interference location, a wire division location. But how do you change the clock location? But the clocking channel is not a line center interference location, but 24 signal line connections. But the merge interference location is offload wire. Change the wire communication back to ground line interference back and communication system high center. Boom. Done. So I just had a regular conversation with myself inside. So if there's something wrong, I fix. But how do you do it? Inside through communication. And that's why we're not aware of these things. You see how powerful it is when you communicate inside line center interference? So centering communication line centers, position line connection interference, 5 channels, right? So 5 channels, over cross line center, over position, direct location is 4. See? What is it doing? Covering what? The moon. Right? So there's 4 channels of atmosphere location covering the moon. You are a story frame. You are a film projector. You have to learn how to do these things. It's all communication. That's all this is. It's you being aware of what you're seeing. Is your perception location, guys. Having regular conversations with yourself inside. That's all you have to do. Nothing else, nothing more. Right? It's a lot of fun when you understand that communication. Right? This helps you in all ways and forms. Yes, it opens all track locations of you inside. Do you understand how powerful you are? You won't know that until you go inside. Right? If my thumb indicator is not in line center interference, but the moon position location is offline direct locations, let's say it's in a 4 feet channel. Where do you get a 4 feet channel? Right? Communication interference location calculations. What do you think I'm doing with my position on my pointer? Once the clock hits line center, it's now connected to the moon line surface. See? Setting locations to a bridge. You see the bridge? Hoo-ah! What happens when you cross the bridge? What comes in the electrical light connection of the 4 division line system? Release. Attach. Detach. Alarm. Sector line. Center communication line stream interference. How to use your finger communication into shapes and anomalies. Track interference location of all line centers to diamond locations to triangle communications to all levels of honeycomb line stream. High center line interference. Position of 2 moon line centers in track location. In line center locations. Unified line center locations. Overcross location position directions. Center line communication system. Changes what? Colorations in the background and center. All thumbs up in communication system. Track line center. So if you understand the connection, this is going to help you in all ways and forms, right? The team has to recognize these things. Every second, every minute, every hour of your day. Take time. Really take time. Invest your time and maintenance and communicate inside your body and all levels of calculation. That's the only way you're going to understand anything, especially when you come to school. Okay? You can communicate with the beard, right? Too much offline center interference. I got to cut this line communication system. There's a little bit of growth here. Take the track interference. There's got a line center line and rotation interference. You got too much growth on one line center rotation, the interference location left line connection. All through my beard. What I need to do, all through communication. So if you understand that, and I keep saying that over and over and over, everything's going to start making sense. And then you understand, wow, this is amazing. I'm not just going to spend 20 minutes of the day. I'm going to spend a 24-hour. Really get to know my system. I mean, really, really get to know my system inside. And that's why you guys have problems. It's not just pre-flights. That's A, B's, and C's. It's actually communicating inside your body on all levels of your electrical system. How to use the energy of form. What is energy? What's the product of energy? What's the production of energy? What's the neuron of energy line center interference? What's the calculated modification to a photon line interference location calculation in the high system, the theta beta line center location and communication system? What is the track line center location of satellite channel? What's the offline center interference? Why is it offline center location off division? I put the channel line in position directions. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm communicating to myself, trying to understand the reasoning of why this is happening is the how. So you always find a result, but the only way to do that is to communicate inside. Okay? It's extremely powerful. You have that connection. Everybody here can do it, but you have to have control. You have to control the energy line. The energy line rotation interference, 12 DNA line centers, right away calculations, understand your coloration, your path. Your ground line centers are off interference. You're swiveling too much in line center rotations on left line connections. but the right line channel to the solar panel interference location of the calculation to understand the electrical light interference, but the mainframe understands the location of time. Time center is position location of its existence, which is in the now line system, position location of clocking of 24 signal, 24 activation to 24 location, 24,000 lights in your line interference location calculations. Center communication is all levels of U inside line. Okay. Light is produced from inside of you, not outside. The only existence is the now is you inside in all levels. So you have to be an introvert, not an extrovert. You're not having conversations with everything outside. You're having conversations from inside of you, which is having conversation from everything that it's inside that's coming to you through space and time. Space and time comes to you. But the only way it does that is only until you understand the master communication of inside line interference location, electrical light communications mainframe. I say, why is he talking so fast? Well, that calculates all levels of graph interference. You have electrical light in rotation, calculation high system, coloration panels, coloration line interference, coloration channel line position, coloration box line center locations, coloration of timeline center, space-time communication, clock interference location calculation. Where am I getting all this information? Inside. Inside, from the computer, from my computer, from another computer, from a digital pad, from a microphone, from water, from a blind, from a lamp, from a desk, from a TV. This is the true understanding of what space and time is. You live it every single day through its existence. The only thing that stands in the center operation is you. Everything that I see around me is inside me. Multi-pass. Where do you think the information comes from? Inside, right? So if everything is inside, that means everything has its own dimension of time, right? Makes sense. Think about it. Has its own intelligence. It communicates back with you, right? That's why it's extremely powerful when you connect to that system. I want you to understand how powerful you are when you go inside line and really connect to all levels of geometry interference. Geometric patterns, central communication line system, allocate timelines, navigation, checking grounds, checking powers, checking atmosphere line interference with navigation system done. That's one. But that's not enough. How many hours are in the day? 24. How many hours do you communicate to your body inside? Let's say maybe, I'd say probably 3% location. 3% you guys communicate location in your bodies. 3% out of a 24-hour day. Now, 3% is not a lot, is it? Okay. You automatically get up in the morning. What do? Your eyes open right away. Where's your eye center? Where's your eye center? Where's it focusing on? First thing you look at, right? Where's the avatar going? It gets in its routine, gets in its program, right? So it knows what it's doing every day when it gets up in the morning because it's the position of its direction, right? Eye line, 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 eye line. Everything is an eye line. It's a laser direction, but you focus on it. You don't take your eyes off it until you understand what it is. To get a relationship with it, you're fine. Then you get a partnership with it, and then it communicates back with you every day. But that every day is the same day. When I look at the room location, it's all in one timeline, all at once. So there's not 7 days a week in a computer, into a wall, into a desk, into a TV, into light. It's all in the same day, right? That's why you're confused. So you have a 24-line signal in rotation interference. That signals its position, location, and directions. Now, 24 equals location of 7 days a week, right? 7 days a week. Now, within that 24, you take 3% location. Okay, so you got 3% line centers in calculation. That's how much you communicate to your avatar stream, all right? So 3% location is what? Less than half. right? So it's like 3/4 locations. So you got 3 channel line centers. So your calculator is what? 3% location, circlets interference, comes into the grounds, right? Comes into the security line, and comes in location of your sacra. 3 line connections. That's 3% location, right? But remember, it's the scale. We use the scale. The atom line center to line interference to the atom line rotation is the bottom communication. That's the percentage location at 3%, which is all of the grounds, the security, and position location of your sacral communication system. So if you channel the line centers, understand line communication is all levels of you. Once you understand the master communication of electrical light interference, then you understand the alphabetical stream, which is 26,000 line communications. But if there's 26,000 line communication, alphabetical line connections, I integrate to each letter of communication, not each word. Each letter is a word. We've been through that already, right? To know exactly what it is, the calculation system. It allocates timelines and stream interference. It opens all communication systems timeline center. It highlights its communication to its clock locations, to its time interference, position location, all levels. It integrates its high center location to its gravitational pull. Gravitational pull sets line communication system. Where am I getting all this information? Inside me. But where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? The energy that's inside you guys, that's moving very, very fast. Okay? Your electrical system, your mainframes, your draws locations, your high channel line centers, your CPU unit, your computer adaptation surface, your high rotation centers, high interference location calculations. Everything is inside you, is energy. Understanding the energy line centers. Okay, we got no locations. E equals M. Let's start with that. Let's start out small. E. What is E? E is all formation of what? E equals everything location. Simple, right? It's all forms of everything. So E becomes everything through track. E becomes everything through mind. E becomes everything through space. E becomes everything through time. E becomes everything through shapes, letters, numbers, and symbols. E is everything of formation. That means equal is everything through formation. Wait a minute. So that means mass is everything through formation too. Mass of nothing is mass of everything. Who would have thought? To understand the mind is the peace of mind. We got that locations, right? So once you understand that line center, then you understand the mass of its calculation to and from. You're calculating from where and where. So anything in space position location is times pi. We got in that line center location, right? But it's this that's times pi. Okay, it's the center from here to here to get from there to that point. Okay, so you're in a clock location of 24 into 40 into 72 line connections. That's times pi. You're collecting information locations in a 24 clocking line center in dimensional setting to 48 window to a 72 location of computer. So each line center has a different DNA line track and direction locations, right? 3 communication system position of directions, 24, 48, 72. Center line connection at all levels. I really want you guys to get more into time calculation. Times pi, times over pi, factor over division of pi, communication clock line centers over pi, calculation integrate high center locations of its equation over pi, line communication of clock line centers over pi, position location over cross line centers, factor over trifactor over pi. Simple, easy, done. So if you understand these things, and I keep saying understanding, is for you to understand the volume. It's you putting your time and maintenance into you. How much you cherish you inside is all levels of acceleration and decelerating. Accelerating, decelerating location. Hold on. So accelerating and decelerating. Obviously, it's very busy here, isn't it? So you got an arrow indication location. You can't see it though, right? It's gone. Whoa, it disappeared until you see it. Acceleration, deceleration. Going up, going down, going up, going down, transmitting, receiving. The biggest thing for you guys to understand is how to use your lights through travel, through the mind, through space and time. The only way to do that is to communicate with yourself at all levels of system locations. Okay? And that's the importance, is focus on yourself. Okay? You can't make any excuse in any light center interference. You can't come to me and say that you can't communicate to your body inside. That's next to impossible. You know you can do it. Because when you know these things, you come into the how. And the how is the easy format. That gets you in directional locations. Because all information is provided for you inside. Okay? I can say what my heart is in 1 million ways. Because I know what it is. I can integrate locations to everything through general AI space-time and communicate to everything through alphabetical stream interference or going backwards in communication system. Energy line communication system, metric line communication intelligence, timeline center interference, energy line locations, communication high system, atmosphere location of perception, space line communication, interference locations, all levels of an atom, atom location, high system location, all levels of interference, atmosphere location, all levels, remember communication of its energy, neutralize communication, energy line centers, all levels of geometric interference, all through general AI spacetime. So, to understand communication is to understand how to go forward and backwards. That is the balanced location of you inside through light. Okay. So you got a 24 line signal, you got a 24 activation stream, and you got a 24 location. Right? So understanding the ground line centers of 24 comes into what? 48. 40 is the window. Okay, we'll get more into that location. You really have to understand all lines. How to use the process of communicating to accelerate and decelerate locations all through your tracker system. But it's got to be from inside, right? So I want you guys to find time to communicate to your body inside. You will get your answers. But it's not just communicating on all levels. It's getting the result to your problem. Okay? So, and that's all it is. It's not that complicated. If you complicate your system, your body will eventually not understand you. Right? Your body will not understand you. So this is understanding, communication. This isn't understanding. Right? What's going on? It's got a twitch. Well, what's going on? There's something going on with my hand. How do I understand how? I got to communicate with my hand, but I don't know what, it's not going to stop. How are you going to make it stop? See with your thumbs how it locks in? Same with your toes, so they lock in. You have to understand that. You have to understand how they lock in, but it's from inside. Electrical light interference, panels communication office system, has a phase recognition of timeline, integrate location with thumb line rotation. So indicate location of the moon line center location is this thumb. This is the sun, this is the moon, in position location directions. So if your moon is locked in center, what's happening? Too much communication interference. Meteorological line center location in position directions, overclouding system, covering the moon. But you got 4 indication line centers at all levels. Finger communication, the high center location is your fingerprint position locations. Each finger has a clocking system. This can mean a 20 million line center. This can mean a 40, 60, 80. All different intelligent locations because of different timeline centers. Baby, child, teenager, adult. That's where you communicate locations. The inner line center is how calculate and modify. Okay? So you have to understand this all through program. It's a lot of fun, isn't it? Well, the thing is, you have to have a commanding system, but you can't be forceful because it's trying to communicate with you. Because if you can't communicate with your hand is going to do its own thing. I mean, it does its own program setting. It's just, you have to really control your system. You have to really understand the body and position, location, and calculations. Center communication is all levels of you. And you are the center operation of everything that's inside you. And that's all levels of the how of the operation. That's all it is. It's the how of the operation. You control it. Okay? So, mind telepathy goes a long, long way. But space position location is you in all levels of direction. How you channel is you through observation. Remember that. Okay? So, taking you guys out of line, track interference, electrical light interference, taking back position of ground centers of communications, start position within the cerebral, center communication lines into all the cranial line centers back in calculation. All right, you guys are back. All right, signal line centers and earth line rotation interference. Calculation system line connections. So every time you get up in the morning, communicate with your system. Okay, start with 10 minutes, 15, 20, and work your way up to half an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. Communicate with your body for an hour. Let's see what happens with that. Okay, especially if you feel like you're in pain, physical pain, or any of the calculations. Truly understand is all levels of form, the form of its energy, the cluster of its energy. All right. Electrical light connections can form in position and merge into one position. That's all vibration. And that's like, whoa, oh, I got a knot. I can't get it out. So you have to learn how to communicate to the vibration line center that causes the position location of its position line system. All if you allocate time. So it's all through electrical light connections. It's all through energy. It's an energy pack. It's an energy ball. So you got to learn how to release position, retract location. Right? Now it's better. Go wild. Not just with imagination. Setting signal locations. 2 graph line centers of finger position location and calculations. This is only 2 fingers, but it's pointing where? In the abscess line. Up. Up through acceleration, down through positional deceleration. Up, down. Communication interference, track line center, and high line rotation calculations is all levels of division. Okay? So, the number one thing is to communicate inside of you. Okay? So, I do this to quiet the morning, talk to my body, allow my energetic connection to my body, vibratory system. There you go. That's a true understanding. The more you recognize that, the more it becomes more fun. Okay. And you just have a really good time with yourself. You really understand your physical line centers and all levels of your alignments. You get a better track interference location and calculations. Centering your line centers gives you an all communication as operation. Okay. So lots to understand. Okay. So I'll tap on to all levels back on TikTok. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Everybody have a wonderful day. Adios.